Man, that's an everything bagel.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
We're back for another episode of the Everything Bagel.
Yeah.
Today is another Kive Dive.
Yes.
So we will be pulling 3 random movies from my personal collection and then picking one to watch. I've seen most, if not all of these movies. Lily has seen most, if not none of these movies. So yeah, let's go ahead and spin the wheel to see.
I feel like one of the ladies on like Deal or No Deal. What's behind this wheel? I don't know.
All right, so we have our wheel here. Let's go ahead and shuffle it. And why don't you go ahead and click the spin for me?
Click the spin.
Click anywhere. Yeah, click to spin it.
Are you recording it?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
All right, so our first pick is The Wolf of Wall Street.
I do love me The Wolf of Wall Street.
Something we have both seen, actually.
I've probably seen The Wolf of Wall Street like 3 times.
Yeah.
3-4 times now.
It was one of my first Martin Scorsese movies I saw in theaters, and I was way too young to be seeing all that. But a great movie nonetheless. Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pick number 1.
Okay,
let's see. Pick number 2.
I like the system more than like vetoes. Like you get one of 3.
Yeah.
So
And we
we're
get to
spinning
vote
3
from there.
times, then voting.
Right. Spin for pick number 2.
Okay. The suspense.
It's gonna be...
Oh, 10 things I hate about you. I do love that one.
An absolute one of, if not my favorite rom-com. If it's not my favorite, it's my top 3.
You know, I feel like automatically we should go with that one just because the ones we've done so far haven't necessarily been up to me. And I feel like the romance category is almost always going to please me.
Right.
Like if you want me to be up after we watch the movie so that we can record this all in one day, that's probably
I feel
one,
like we know this movie so well, though. We could record it like right now.
Yeah, but like I could always use a Heath Ledger refresher.
That's true.
So.
All right, but to keep with the rules, we'll do one more spin and then
Okay.
see what it is.
Also, I keep hating how it like edges me to Jurassic Park.
I know,
again.
it's getting so close to Jurassic Park each time.
Oh, there will be blood. Okay,
Classic.
all 3 of these we've seen like more
All
than
of these
once.
are bangers. Yeah. Okay, so our 3 choices are Wolf of Wall Street, 10 Things I Hate About You, and There Will Be Blood. Yeah, I guess out of those, we're going 10 Things I Hate About You.
Well, what would you pick?
I mean, I feel like There Will Be Blood and Wolf of Wall Street are like so like intense. Like at least There Will Be Blood is.
Yeah.
That's not the vibe for me right now. Like,
Okay,
I've it was at one point like my favorite movie of all time, so I've seen it like front to back like so many times.
You know, I've never watched 10 Things I Hate About You to have like anything to say about it. So I'm interested to watch it like through the lens of like actually having 30 minutes worth of something to say about it. Not that it doesn't have anything worth saying, but I feel like my brain just kind of shuts off when I do watch rom-coms. Like that's probably like the one category where I can just fully...
Okay, so this time I should be the one fawning over it, and then this time you be critical over it. So while we watch it, because you know usually it's like you're watching the movie, not I wouldn't say passively, but like you're watching it maybe more just like casually.
Yeah.
So let's flip it this time. So at the end of it, and when we record, like have some
critiques
or some thoughtful things to say, you know, instead of just I love it. I think that'll be a fun challenge.
Okay. Also, I never got the whole thing about how it's based on like Romeo and Juliet.
It's actually based off Taming of the Shrew, which is a different Shakespeare play.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I got A's in all of my like English classes, but I never knew what the fuck William Shakespeare was talking about.
Yeah, anything earlier than like 1900, I have a super hard time comprehending. Just
the
like,
only
the
one I
written
did
parts.
get was like Hamlet.
You didn't get Hamlet? Or
I
you got
did get Hamlet.
Yeah.
But like it took me watching like 3 different movies.
Is it Lion King? Is it
like
Lion King's Hamlet, right? Or it's Macbeth? It's one of those.
Or am I thinking Macbeth? Which one's the one where like the dad gets betrayed by his brother?
Lion King.
No, yeah.
I think it's Macbeth. I think it's Macbeth or Hamlet. It's one of those.
No, I was asking like which William Shakespeare thing that one is. I think it's Hamlet.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's either that or Macbeth.
I don't know, but why did we give this guy so much credit?
I mean, he did. I'm not even trying to like defend Shakespeare like this, but you say these things where I'm like, bro, like, it's Shakespeare. Like, we should challenge stuff from the past, but at the same time, he pioneered a lot of storytelling, right? Am I right?
For the time, sure, but like all these like modern takes on William Shakespeare, like we couldn't come up with something.
But your favorite shit is Anyone But You. This one, I'm gonna just look up every single. I'm googling this right now. Keep talking.
Okay, well, look, mira. Every time I ever read one of his plays, I didn't get it. The way they speak is annoying, and I get it. You like modernize it.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Uh-huh.
West Side Story, which
I haven't seen.
I love. That's Romeo and Juliet. She's the Man, with Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum.
How is that one any of them?
Let me see.
Based on what?
Arguably the most lighthearted film adaptation of Shakespeare. Directly from Twelfth Night. I've never.
He has so many plays that probably every movie has some kind of William Shakespeare element.
Much Ado About Nothing is classic.
Like, must be nice to be the first to do like the most basic things on earth, because then you get credit every time.
It wasn't basic at the time. It was revolutionary. Romeo and Juliet. Warm Bodies.
Wow. Also, didn't he plagiarize people?
That's the theory. They say that William Shakespeare is like a collective. Like there wasn't just like a singular person. It was like
I believe that. No way someone came up with all these by
himself. Think it was one person, because I think there is always that like once in a generation talent that just kind of defines an era. I think we get that with like every medium, like somebody who really pushes the medium forward and then like a real disruptor. And I think at the time that was him. Have we moved on?
I didn't know you liked William Shakespeare this much.
This is the other thing. I don't, but like I said, you say this crazy stuff that it's just like, what? Like, I gotta say something. I gotta say something in defense.
Well, I guess that's the fun of it. But
no, okay. So we'll check back in, and hopefully Lily has some thoughtful critiques. And not critique as in like negatives, but just like an interesting perspective.
Which William Shakespeare is it based off?
This one is Taming of the Shrew.
And what's that one about? No one knows.
10 things about it. No, okay. I can explain it, but that was just like, bro, like it's the movie. It's
literally the plot of the movie.
Okay, so like so one guy wants to date this girl. But the dad's like, you can't date her unless my other daughter gets dated, but she's undateable. So he tricks, or he like employs in this. Oh,
that's literally what happens in the Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, so all these Shakespeare movies and plays are always about these like miscommunications and stuff. Like he invented that. Like Anyone But You, another I found really fun one. Remember they had to pretend to be in love because their exes were there.
Anyone But You. Why am I slipping in my mind?
Glenn Powell and or is that what it's called, right?
Yeah,
Anyone But You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one, and it's kind of the same vibe of like.
Is it a miscommunication or is it an edging?
No, but it's the same thing as also like Romeo and Juliet. I will
not further explain.
What does that mean?
Like it means like they are literally directly communicating, saying, "Hey, let's pretend to be in a relationship together." Okay, not my fault then that I fall in love with you. Like, I feel like that's not a miscommunication. That's a direct communication.
But you know what I mean, where it's like built on these like little ironies and everything.
Sure, ironies. Okay, yes, ironies.
He's literally
ironies.
William Shakespeare, dramatic ironist.
Okay, fine. I give you that, William.
Thank you. I'm speaking for William.
Well, now I feel like I have to watch Taming of the Shrew to like have a critical take on 10 Things I Hate About You.
Right, but I don't know what.
Fine, I'll look at it just on the basis of
I feel like
movie in a
we get the
self-contained
plot of
environment.
we get the plot of the story. Like, I don't see what's so hard here.
But like, okay, but like, how do you compare like modern Shakespeare takes to like Shakespeare, or is it just more so like a haha, like they did it like modernly? Like, how do you measure?
Well, I think
that,
also
you know?
in this one, if maybe this is something you pay attention to, they'll actually quote the play in the movie and with the old English. Remember that?
How am I gonna do that if I don't remember anything about
when they
Taming
start
the
saying
Shrew?
shit like "Where art thou?" Like that's when you're like clued in. Like, oh, okay,
Fine.
okay. What about Romeo plus Juliet, the one with Leo DiCaprio?
I haven't seen.
That's also a good one. Baz Luhrmann.
Do you have it?
I don't have it
Okay.
because it's kind of hard to find. I found. But that one is they literally take the play, as in like the words and all the old English, and they just superimpose it on a modern setting or like modernish setting.
So they're talking old.
They're talking all old timey. Have you never watched it in like English class? They made us watch
No.
it because our attention span sucked. So they were like, "Here, put this on because it's Leo DiCaprio."
I've never seen anything Leo DiCaprio until Titanic.
I mean, like, how old were you? I feel like
12?
12. That's I mean, I don't think he was in much like kids stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before that, you know what I mean? Not kids, as in like what kids would watch Leo DiCaprio movies before Titanic. Like, he wasn't really in like that kind of stuff.
He was more of like the teenagers at
He was
that
like
time.
the equivalent of today's like Timothée Chalamet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he did Wonka, to be fair, but like for the most part, he's doing like a little bit edgier stuff. So that's DiCaprio back then. So I guess Wonka is like the Titanic.
Yeah, I think that Romeo one, like that's where all the girls got feral for him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
like,
then
that
Titanic
was
just like sealed the deal. You know?
yeah. And then once he met up with my boy Marty Scorsese, that's when the acting kicked in. The acting kicked in.
So you're saying he was a bad actor before?
I wasn't saying he's a bad actor, but like you can tell like when you get brought to the next level. We should watch Wolf of Wall Street. There we go. That's a case in point.
All these movies are connected. Which William Shakespeare's is that one based off of?
I don't know enough Shakespeare to be talking about this. I know like 4 plays.
How does he have doesn't he have like 40 plays or something? There's ones we don't even know about.
Let's see.
I like how you're like a researcher and a co-host.
I am a podcast producer and co-host, so I'm putting that on my resume and LinkedIn.
We should do credits. I like at the end of our
It's
episodes,
just all my
but
name
it's
and
just
your
all
name.
your name, yeah.
Okay, how many plays did Shakespeare write? 38. You were close. You said almost 40.
Yeah.
Is the generally accepted number, though recent claims may have been made for King Edward III and some scholars. Blah, blah, blah. 38. That's pretty solid.
I knew that. Like I said, I got an A in English.
But your English teacher never showed you any Shakespeare?
No, we read all of them and I did my homework, but like kind of in one ear out the other. Or like they kind of give you the answers in class. All you have to do is listen to the teacher. Like I never understood why people were bad at school.
All right, Lil Wayne. Bro, whenever I would get like bad grades in school, my dad, he would always quote Lil Wayne, where he was like, yeah, I saw this interview with Lil Wayne. He's like, I don't know how people get bad grades. The answers are in the book. Because apparently Lil Wayne was a straight A student.
I believe it. See,
So,
me and Lil Wayne.
I agree, but like that's crazy. That's a
No,
deep cut.
I'm just saying, like, literally the teachers are so tired and jaded when they're teaching you. They're literally like, here's the answer. I'm spelling it out for you. So even though I didn't get it from the source material,
right?
If I showed up to class and I was like 20% awake, I was probably still getting an A in class. Like,
well,
it's not that.
Some people have. You're about to get canceled, bro. Some people have learning disabilities, man, or hard time learning.
That's fine. But half the people I knew, it wasn't because they had learning disabilities. It's because they thought they were too cool for school.
Okay, that's also fair. Not applying yourself, you're not gonna get stuff back.
Yeah. So I know me and your dad would have shook hands on that one when he yelled at you for getting your first C.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. All right. So we're gonna watch now 10 Things I Hate About You.
We're gonna put ourselves in the high school mindset.
You are. I'm gonna just enjoy.
You're just gonna. Well, I don't think you've ever watched a romantic comedy or a romance movie and like really thought about anything about it.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you've never been like, here's my theory on that movie, or here's what I think about it stylistically. What's like the most artsy rom-com you can think of that you're like,
La La Land.
wow?
La La Land mentioned every podcast. Let's go.
First of all, not a rom-com.
All right, fine. Rom-drom. Okay. 500 Days of Summer.
Okay, what about it?
I thought,
the one every guy quotes.
I'm not saying I like it and aspire to it, but you said like I think stylistically it's very unique. They did like the cool double shots. What?
Days of Summer hater.
Okay, but you have to admit that like stylistically and what you just said, that movie is very unique.
Fine.
Okay.
But I feel like straight men ruined it for me.
Right. He's definitely not someone you should aspire to like.
No, yeah, but like too many people get the wrong conclusion.
All right. Just like a lot of movies like Fight Club and Wolf of Wall Street and other movies like that. There Will Be Blood.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
What? How can you get the wrong idea from There Will Be Blood?
They're like, oh my God, I should work just as hard as that guy. And look how rich he got. It's true, bro. People like every type of like complicated male role, people latch on to it.
Oh, like you and Mr. Snow.
Okay, but it's different.
Fuck, what's his first name? It's just Snow.
It's different from we're talking about from Hunger Games, the spin-off or whatever, the
spin-off.
The Ballad of Songbirds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I like complicated characters, but there's a difference because it's not like I'm like I relate to this guy where like some people do. I'm just like I think it's really cool and he was very well written.
I don't know where that line is, but
no, it's not fair. Hey, I don't like that my shit's getting co-opted by these like dumbasses too, bro. Like I like Fight Club, but I'm not like, oh my God, like I want to start a Fight Club after I watch it. Like I like Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm like,
yeah. First of all, that was the most like.
Which one?
Fight Club.
You liked it.
No, I know. Yeah. But it was just like. It had nothing to do with the Fight Club. It had to do with fragile masculinity.
That's why it's so dumb when people latch on to that.
People are so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll watch this movie. I'll try to have some deep thoughts about it. But if not, here's 20 minutes of us talking about literally everything else.
I just think as the resident rom-com expert, I'd like some good insights into the form itself.
But you know what? This is a good thought starter because I have no idea how to like say something thoughtful about rom-coms because the way I measure a good rom-com is did it make me feel something for the characters.
Ooh, how about I believe you sent me a TikTok or we talked about this in an earlier podcast where you were like you don't like rom-coms because maybe I do, but you're saying rom-coms are problematic because they center men and like teach women to like uncenter themselves from their lives. So maybe if we can
that was someone's take. I don't know if I fully invest in it, but I could see it because like literally every movie is about like pick me, choose me, and like we make fun of it and it's part of the joy, but I'm thinking about it like psychologically. What it does for me is like create unrealistic expectations of men or even overlook like some of their bad behaviors, like think Conrad from The Summer I Turned Pretty. And like how he can be so wishy-washy, but then you're like, no, it's okay. He's just troubled. I can fix him. Yes, I can fix him. As the freaking, it's the crux of every woman. You know what I mean?
If like the female characters are written as strongly as the male characters, or
does it pass the Bechdel test? See, that would be a good one. If you don't know what the Bechdel test is, we'll put it.
Yeah, Bechdel test.
Because how do you define it? Oh, okay. It's a criteria under which, like, does a movie basically have two female characters who talk to each other, not about a man? And you'd be surprised how many movies do not fit that category. So we'll see if this one does. But
I think it's a little hard for rom-coms though, because usually in rom-coms it's about the object of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think some interesting things to go in with, and I'm excited to hear your takes. And I'm going to enjoy Heath Ledger singing "Can't Take My Eyes Off of You" and love every single second.
See, like, how am I supposed to like live my life knowing like that's the standard, But then it's also, not realistic, obviously. But then also,
the hell kind of high school students like
that is a real high school.
No, I know. Like I know that part, but like I just feel like high school students would never like obviously because they're like 20 years old, 30 years old.
Yeah, also there's that other thing of like every person who ever plays a high schooler is not high school age. So
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations of
Exactly.
what
And,
you
like,
want
I feel
your
like
partner to
me
look
in high
like.
school, I was so like not
No,
in
he
my
was
skin.
cute. You
No.
were like,
I'm just saying I
what's
was
his
so
face? Who's also in the movie?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
Yeah. But I was so like not in my skin comfortably.
Yeah, but he had that JB bowl cut.
I did. I had the little
insert
swoosh.
pic.
No, I don't know if I have a pic. I'm not.
Oh, I have pics. It's okay.
But like I don't know if I would ever have the confidence in high school to like do that. To like.
Did you ever ask someone to prom like in a cool way?
I didn't go. I thought I was one of those kids that's like it's too cool for school, but then I regretted it like immediately. I was like, damn, I should have went.
Damn. Well, the best I ever saw was like flyers, you know.
It was mostly like people
like
would get their
dressing up a
friends
little.
and like they each have like a letter
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. And it's just like felt weird because it's just like, are you inviting the girl or the other guys with you? Like
no,
the at least the school I went to was a little blurred. Shout out El Camino High School, Bay Area.
You should see what this guy says about your high school off camera.
I only went there a couple years. Yeah, nothing. I saw my ID though.
Oh yeah. Also insert pic.
Yeah, okay, we could insert pic of that.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Signing off for the last fucking time, bro. We're watching 10 Things I Hate About You and Hard Cut. All right, so we just finished 10 Things I Hate About You.
I stayed up. It was a quick one too.
Yeah, I mean, probably like 90-ish minutes or so. But an absolute classic.
I wish we had like a little
We need a little stand.
for him.
Each episode will improve a little bit, so we'll get like a little stand. But
yeah, everybody hit up my GoFundMe so I can have one of those mics instead of this one.
Yeah.
But what'd you think?
I mean, again, like one of my favorite rom-coms of all time.
Why is it one of your favorite?
I really like the story and the characters. I like the plot of like how like they're trying to trick each other and like, you know, like all these things. So I like how like complex it is and like the character motivations are very clear, so it's like it feels very organic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff can be plot driven, but this feels like character driven. I like how the high school feels like a character itself. Like everybody from like the different clubs and everything, like it makes the school feel just like alive compared to like other rom-coms that take place like in high schools. I think it like paints a nice picture like of what high school was. I feel like for me, like just like a bunch of individuals living their lives too, you know. Obviously this is played up for comedy, but like, you know, stuff was going on around you, like you're not the main character. So I like that aspect of it a lot. And soundtrack's banging, early, you know, 2000s punk rock, you know, punk pop rock, love it. And
well, okay,
chemistry.
Let's backpedal a little bit.
Okay.
If you've never seen the movie, you must be living under a rock because even I know about it. But let me read you the synopsis. Okay. The classic comedy that launched the careers of Academy Award winner Heath Ledger, R.I.P., 2008 Best Supporting Actor The Dark Knight, and Julia Stiles celebrates its 10-year high school reunion with 10 Things I Hate About You, the 10th anniversary edition. Okay, wait. This is very specific to the DVD.
Yeah.
Okay. New kid in school, Cameron, is smitten with the beautiful Bianca. The problem is that Bianca isn't allowed to date unless her surly older sister, Kat, does. Cameron's only hope is to enlist the help of Patrick, the school troublemaker with a reputation as nasty as cats. Yeah.
Classic. Lots of hijinks.
Classic. Well, you asked me to have deep thoughts about it.
Yeah.
So,
what did you come away with? I'm curious.
Lots of like notes off the bat would be that this like some of the comedy didn't age very well. Like they definitely have some problematic angles to stuff. But you know, for the most part, it was really funny. I was trying to look at it through the lens of like what makes it like good romance, and what I liked about it that a lot of other romance movies doesn't have is that Heath's character, he is the one like noticing her when she isn't looking, or like things that are typically attributed to like the female character, like always noticing the guy when he's not looking or watching him as he's in his own little world. And I really like specifically this one scene where she's like doing her own thing at the guitar store and he's like totally in her bubble, but she doesn't even notice. And though she gets like a feeling later that he was there, like she's still kind of always like doing what pleases her, while also still very human and like normal to kind of like start to care about another person and then, you know, make decisions based on that. So I feel like the movie was trying to, or at least her character was trying to like push this narrative that she only does things for herself, or she doesn't want to ever make decisions that just because like other people want her to. And I think by the end, you know, she learns like to compromise on that and in a good way, you know, like doing things for her sister or just to experience them even if she doesn't think it'd be fun, and then kind of coming out of it with like a newfound appreciation. So I did like the depth of those elements. I thought the editing and a lot of the shots were like better than most romantic comedies or like romance movies in general. Like they actually put in an effort to like add these stylistic choices to the movie, or just like different angles. I feel like romance movies now
they can
are
be
very like this way, that way, this way.
No, this definitely was like cool. There were so many like, I wouldn't say like long takes or anything, but like, you know, there was that like dolly zoom we pointed out while we were watching.
A lot of these, like, what's it called? The
spinning
Michael
shot.
Bay spinning shot.
Like lots of just cool camera movements that don't like take away from the movie or like distract, but like there's a stark difference between this and like a rom-com that's made today, just with like the camera angles and everything, and like it made it flow just like, it gave it a good energy, as I feel like, which I think reflected kind of the youthfulness of the movie, like taking place in high school and everything. At
the beginning of the movie, I was kind of like, wow, like these are really like drawn out secondary storylines, but I like how you put it where like I feel like it does have a purpose in the sense that it's there to symbolize how everyone is living their own kind of storylines, and there's these overlaps, but in general like no one takes up more space than the other. Like obviously we are following these two and their like kind of story, but I feel like the secondary storyline and even tertiary storylines like do take up like enough space.
I mean, we don't even get introduced to Heath Ledger's character for like 20 minutes, I would say. Like, you know, he doesn't really show up and let alone like speak for like a long time. So I think it helps really build up just the world and like Cameron's character, but I think by the end obviously we kind of lose out on him and everything, but just I think that's just because like his plot relevance is over with Bianca and everything. But anything else you noticed in the film? Did it pass the Bechdel test?
Two girls talking about anything other than a guy? I don't think so. But they weren't always talking positively about guys, though, when they were talking about them, to be fair. But like that's not what the Bechdel
I know, but I just want to point out, like, it's not like they're also boy obsessed. Like,
well, talking shit about men is also kind of
I know, it's still centering them, men. But like, again, I think it sucks, but like it kind of comes with the territory for like a rom-com where like you are dealing with relationships. So
but I'm pretty sure it didn't pass the Bechdel test because most of the conversations between two female characters was the two sisters mostly. And it was just them arguing about how one wants to go out and the other one doesn't. So
they're like insulting each other like us sisters do, or just like comments on
Bianca's character pisses me off.
I think she was supposed to represent just like the naive like younger girl sibling. I think she was in a way like I think her real character moment shines like once we kind of realize towards the end, you know, she's dealing with the fact that, you know, she doesn't have a mom anymore and her dad's being overprotective, and now we realize her sister was being overprotective by kind of not like on purpose dating, you know what I mean, to prevent her from dating also.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't very satisfying when her and Cameron like got together because it felt like sloppy seconds, and also the way that they like overcame their argument with like her going to the party and getting Cameron to like do all this like sideline work to get her sister a date.
I mean, she used them.
Yeah, she used them, bottom line, and he confronts her about it, and like obviously I think he tried to paint it like, I'm a really nice guy, I did all these things for you. It was about to get there, yeah. But it was like, you're trying to get in her pants too, dude. Like, you're not that great. And then, you know, the way she shuts the conversation down or accountability down is to kiss him.
She rewards it.
Yeah, and then
but I think it was also because like he was, even though he does want to get with her, like he was like noticing her in certain ways. Like, at least for her, it seems like she's never really dated before, and she realized the guy that she liked was like a total douche. And so, you know, here comes the nice guy that was always there, and she's like, yeah, I don't think that's a relationship that'll last.
I would be so offended if someone was like, I don't know anything about you, but you're so pretty that I like let you step all over me. It's like, because that was basically what he's saying. It's like, I saw you and I thought you were really beautiful, and that's why I kind of like let you do all this stuff, and then I realized you shouldn't treat people like this. And I'm like, I don't know, I just think it's different from Heath's and Kat's like relationship, and that like he never really insinuates that he likes her physically at the very beginning, or if he does, it's almost like in a joking, teasing sort of way. And so you know that it's built up on the things he's learning about her rather than how she looks. Yeah, and I appreciate that more than like, I guess maybe like, you know, this whole idea of like love at first sight thing, but like, I don't know, Cameron's motivations just always seemed a little like iffy to me.
Totally. And I think that becomes from what's her character's name? From Kat. Kat and Cameron. That's kind of hard. From Kat's like more like intellectual side, where it's like, you know, she criticizes like women being objects like in the movie, so it's kind of meta there. So I like that they took a more like cerebral approach, where it's like, you know, he's seducing her under the bad pretenses of like, hey, he like was paid to do it, but like, you know, he's getting to know her and what she likes and like all these things, so it's a more of a like mental thing than a physical thing. But yeah, for Cameron's arc, like it definitely just came off as like horny, dumb teenager, which is a lot of Shakespeare and a lot of real life. So, I mean, it makes sense. And like I said, I don't think that relationship will last like long term or anything.
Are we conceptualizing what these relationships last?
I feel like when you watch a rom-com, you're like happily ever after. So it's just like, they're sophomores. Like, I don't think it's going to last. You know what I mean? And like, especially like with what you said, like once they mature, like I think they'll realize like that's not the best way to like start a relationship or anything. But yeah, anything else that you noticed in the film? Any like, even doesn't have to be critical, just like other stuff.
The music was banging. Good classics. I want to touch on the like school as a character thing. I loved like how raunchy like the whole like school structure was, because it made Kat's actions more believable, you know, like within the realm of like what's happening. I feel like a lot of high school movies will act like the things that are happening are realistic, where this one like they lean into it to the point where it's unbelievable, but it's for the comedy, so I like it.
It reminded me almost of like Not Another Teen Movie, which is like totally like a parody, but like in this one, like it totally just works like as like the real world you're buying into, just because it's like it's total like high school is so fake like that, where it's like these cliques and everything, and these are these people and these are these people, and like obviously like it's very generalized, but like I think it works for like the purpose of the movie and the tone, where it's like, even though like it's pretty grounded, like it's also kind of wacky. So I like that aspect of it too, where it's just like, because I think we're so used to like you said, like in rom-coms, when like somebody does something crazy, everyone's like, oh my god, like that's crazy. But here they're just like, oh, like, you know, just another day, like almost like a Disney Channel like movie, but like PG-13. Which I really liked.
I like the like the teachers or like the people in authority. They Like, there's never really like stakes on what they do or what they say. It just adds to kind of what these characters that we're following are
And like what they're dealing with.
and dealing with. So I really like that. I thought it was fun. But yeah, I think there was a couple of times where like the comedy, like the joke really stretched out for like 2 beats too long, and where you're just like, okay. Like,
can you remember like one?
Which one was a good one that there was like a moment in the bar scene where the boys like go in and he's like, don't touch anything, and then he like goes and messes with like the ball on the pool table.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it's funny because they're interacting with that world, but also then like his actions didn't have consequences, which is part of like the joke at the beginning. I don't know. And then it was just like distracts from them like obviously going and interacting with Heath's character. So it's just like,
yeah, I think that's just the style of comedy back then, where it's a little more goofy, I guess.
yeah,
I felt like that with the detention scene where she like sneaks him out by like flashing the teacher.
Yeah, like I feel like those things could have.
Yeah, like stip it down just like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Like I think it would have been a little funnier, or like drag it out in a different way or something. Like I don't know, like
Or the whole like scene where he like drives his bike down by.
Oh, I like that one.
I like it too, but it was at the beginning of the movie, and it felt so like so much time was being spent on this joke rather than establishing like the next thing. So that was like my only.
But I felt
I feel like it would have been
yeah.
as effective with like 30 seconds less of it.
Well, I also think like the movie didn't feel like it was pretty short, but it also didn't feel like long. So I feel like it was paced really well. Like
yeah, but if I could have had like 30 more seconds of Heath Ledger like flirting with her,
I guess so. But also less is more. I go with. You know, I think part of his initial in the film is like he's kind of mysterious. We don't really know much about him. Even by the end, we don't really like. We learn a little bit. We learn like one truthful thing about him by the end. Like we still don't really know him. You know, so I feel like it would be too easy to just like crack his character open and he just spill his guts. You know,
yeah.
I like that it was like all they wanted was like to build a new relationship, and like he told like one thing that was truthful, like he likes her.
Well,
and,
I don't
like,
think he was playing like an Edward Cullen type of thing where he was like pretending to be mysterious. I think people added this mysteriousness to him by inventing stories or making assumptions about him.
But he didn't dispel him either.
Yeah, because he didn't care, because he's kind of a reflection of Kat, where like neither of them care about changing their reputation or making people know like the truth about them,
right?
Which is I think like part of what makes them connect. But I would say that even though you don't learn anything about his life, you see a lot of his character through his actions.
Totally.
Like him choosing not to kiss her at the beginning,
or when she was drunk.
Party. Yeah, I think that's like it shows those early moments of regret that he is taking part in this prank of sorts with paying or getting paid to go out with her, and he's starting to catch feelings, but also the way like he takes care of her at the party, and
yeah,
and even the way he shows up for like Cameron when he really doesn't have any obligation to these like nerds who are trying to get like a girl that's out of their league, you know. But it's nice to kind of see him take that on and phase out this like assumption about him that he doesn't care about anyone.
Totally. And like speaking of that, like this will just brought me back to the point where I like how the movie like, and just the story in general, like shifts the characters, because I think if we stayed with Cameron the whole time, it wouldn't have been as good and definitely would have given off that kind of like potentially creepy vibe, you know. But I like it felt natural too, like the shift in, because it literally switched main characters like halfway through the movie, and it felt totally natural, you know. Like Cameron started as like the audience's like surrogate into this, you know, crazy high school world, and then next thing we know, like it's now Heath Ledger's movie, and like, you know, now their relationship and everything. So I think that was really well done, where it didn't feel like forced or like abrupt or anything, where like there was definitely a few times I'm like, what's Cameron up to maybe, but like he didn't have much going on besides liking you know, he was very one-dimensional like that.
I would say he was definitely one-dimensional in that sense. And I think that's where like the movie doesn't age so well, sort of these like moments where the character motivations are really rooted in sexist and misogynist, and
but I think that also comes with the
not
Shakespeare
fun things.
horny. Like everyone just wants to fuck each other. Like
I guess.
I mean, that's what Romeo and Juliet was. They killed themselves because they couldn't fuck anymore.
Wait, did they ever get it on at the beginning or at all
in Romeo
in the
and
play?
Juliet, no. If
Dude, I
remember?
feel like they literally like talked to each other on a balcony or something.
No,
like
they
that.
did all that, and maybe they did sleep together once, but then their families were like, "No, you can't do that." So then they're like, "Fine, we're killing
I don't
ourselves."
remember them sleeping together. I thought they killed
Maybe in the movie.
themselves over.
I thought in the movie they did.
Yeah, probably.
The old movie.
You gotta add spice in the movies.
Yeah, but still, even still, they still killed themselves because they couldn't after that point.
Oh, by the way, they started talking Shakespeare like what, 10 minutes in?
Yeah, yeah.
They threw him in.
I hate her tone. I don't know if you heard that, but that's our Siri, and she just barks at us, man. Like,
Yeah, what the hell?
Nothing's playing. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably unplug that. I don't want people listening to me.
Yeah.
Unless it's on purpose.
These people.
These people. Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, they started talking in Shakespeare language 10 minutes in, and they definitely like sprinkled it in here and there. And obviously it's like in the movie, but I guess I didn't think about it as like an homage to the play that they're referencing in the film, I guess.
Well, I think, yeah, because it was woven in pretty naturally, I feel like. And
well,
like,
at one point, they're literally doing an assignment inspired by William Shakespeare.
well, that's different because they weren't, that wasn't like that, but then like there's like quotes that they'll sprinkle throughout.
Yeah.
I don't get your point, sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, if I... Like, it's funny that I didn't know that it was based on a play because
and it's like
William
all
Shakespeare is
there.
like literally all over this
Yeah.
thing.
I thought it was cute. The side friends had a nice moment at the prom dressed as like the Shakespeare moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a cool little moment. And I was like, oh.
That was pretty cute. Yeah, even that character just, he moved things along, but I wasn't really sure, like, I guess he just... he 1 second he's showing the guy around the new school, and then the next they're like best friends plotting.
I mean,
his new relationship.
Yeah, I guess
one-sided relationship.
I don't know. I mean, I say that, but it's like at the same time, like I feel like what else was he gonna do? Like I'm sure they could have done more, but like again, it's like a 90-minute movie. Yeah. And who is he in relation to who we want to get to, which is Heath Ledger. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, we want to get to Heath Ledger.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like they served their purpose really well, and for a movie like this where like it was really pretty like fast paced but didn't feel like it, where they're like just introducing a bunch of things, like it was very smooth, and the cast did great all around. Even the actor who played the bad guy, the douchey dude, like he did really well at playing that role. And like yeah. But yeah, no.
What did you like? How do you internalize a romantic movie as the guy, especially with this one where it's kind of like roles reversed in the sense that it's a guy chasing the girl?
Yeah.
Does it? Like how do you?
I mean, I thought this one. Maybe that's why I like this one more, because it's like I could like relate to it more in the sense of like, okay, I'm a guy and I would be chasing a girl, so that's how it usually goes. But
when did you do that?
When I got you.
What was your form of chasing me?
I did what Cameron did.
You sure
I
did,
just hung out with you. It worked though. Look at this.
You became my tutor at the gym.
I really did. But like, it wasn't any like, that wasn't like the intents behind it though. It was just like, we're friends, we're vibing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. We're just gonna lie now.
But then why'd you go? Exactly.
No.
I feel like two truths can be held at the same time, where like I intended it and I didn't intend it at the same time.
No, it's either you intended it or you didn't intend it.
My philosophy was, if it happens, it happens, but if it's not, then if not.
Wow. As they said in the movies, so your idea is to disappoint them so that way you keep their standards. I don't even know.
No, not even. Not even. That wasn't. No, I was doing it because I'm pretty friendly with like everybody. So.
Oh yeah, he was real friendly with everyone.
Anyway, no, but like for this movie, like how I would internalize it. I think, like I said, yeah, like it was kind of cool to have it from like the guy's perspective, and like it was cool that like he liked her more. You
I
don't see
guess
that a
like
lot.
I don't know how to phrase this in a way where you would get it, but like how like does it create any unrealistic expectations of like romance or even things that you're like, wow, like that'd be cool if that happened in real life that you don't even maybe like consciously realize?
I mean, I don't know if I can unconsciously realize it, but no, not like in regards to relationships, because I feel like the
tropes, like bagging the mean girl, or thinking that you need to do these like grand gestures to get someone's attention.
Yeah, maybe the grand gestures thing with this
even
movie.
like appearances, like how he looks like a bad cool boy.
Okay, stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Movies like this definitely, like when I was younger, played into that, because it's like, okay, girls like guys who are mysterious, or like longer hair, like all these things.
And that's why you had the bangs.
I had the bangs. So like in this movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt had the middle part. But so that was cool back in the 90s, but back when I was in school, 2010s, bro, it was the fucking bangs, bro.
It would have worked.
Yeah. So I guess like there's some of that, and obviously like it's Heath Ledger, so it's like who can compete with that? You know what I mean? So I guess there's that in regards
and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, what the hell? Like they're drinking beer in high school. Like it doesn't help.
Also, he was at a bar, so that meant maybe he was older too.
Maybe he got held back. Well, it sounded like they were seniors because she was 18.
Yeah.
So he could be like 18, 19.
But he was at a bar, so he had
maybe
to be
the drinking
21.
age is lowered there
In Seattle,
but also
in America,
he got a.
He had beer.
Oh shit, man! I don't fucking know.
See, these are the inconsistencies that I
don't respect. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Look, what the hell? Like it's.
Like, I couldn't believe that he was hanging out in someone's garage with a bunch of like people that are like him, because he's a part of a clique in his own regard. He's that one friend that's cool who is also kind of like him. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's believable, and that they're drinking and they're underage, but like at an actual bar with actual adults.
But they also went to a high school party that had beer.
Well, yeah, that's real, right? I don't know. Never been to one. Have you been to one?
No.
And our prom sucked? Let's go.
I didn't go to prom.
I regret going to my prom.
What was your theme?
I don't even remember.
Oof.
Something ocean-y?
Lame.
I don't think it looked... It didn't look... None... Okay, so I went to 2 proms.
Okay, 2 proms.
My junior prom, like, was some other people's senior prom, but from my same school. And that one was just like a downtown hotel, like
you did it
vibe.
Somewhere else?
No, like, it was for my school, but it was for the senior class, but I was a junior.
No, but you said downtown.
But yeah, they did it downtown.
Oh, okay.
Not at... Do yours always happen at the school?
Sometimes they do it at the gym. Am I wrong? Like, they do them at the gym.
Yeah, but like, that's not the goal, I think.
Not all the time.
That's if your school didn't fundraise properly.
Oh, hey, let's not buy books. Let's spend on prom.
Well, that's completely separate budget. That the kids start selling chocolates and being all annoying about.
Dude, I survived off those chocolates for a while. Like, $1 for a chocolate. Not
I'm like
bad.
not really sure how they made money off of that. If it was like $1,
they probably wholesaled them, because I don't know what the hell brand that was.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, so that one, I don't know what theme it was, but it was just like kind of like
just
night
like
elegant thing. And I got my dress from Forever 21 because it wasn't my prom, so I wasn't like gonna spend a lot of money. And I saw an actual senior with the same dress at the prom, and I was like, damn, you paid $30 for your dress.
That's crazy. You gotta shame them, bro. That could be
no, but I felt bad because they were wearing the same dress as me. So it's like, imagine it's your prom and somebody else is wearing the same dress. Isn't that like what everybody's
that's what you
like
get for spending $30,
of?
bro. I don't know. Like,
that's what I also justified.
I can say that, but you can't say that.
Well, whatever. Anyway, and then like mine was like at the harbor, and it was like indoor.
If you live in San, every fucking thing takes place at the fucking harbor, bro. Hey, I'm graduating. Let's go to the fucking harbor. Like, God, like.
That was my only time that I went.
What else? What else happened? Like, why the harbor? It just looks cool.
I don't know. I have no
like
appeal towards big
went
bodies
to war
of
out
water.
there, bro. I know we got the battleship out there, but like it's not even in use.
It is a military city, so that kind of makes sense.
Oh god.
A Navy
We're
town.
like North Charlotte or whatever it's called.
North
Charlotte, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I don't know why. That gives me military vibes.
Yeah, I
Like
can
it gives
see
the
that.
NPC city. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
Are we
whoa.
is San Diego?
Canceled.
Come at me. Also, my only reference for Charlotte is Love Is Blind. So
What?
they took place there, right? What city am I thinking of? I don't know, but it was like Charlotte. There was one season that was in Charlotte, and it was stupid.
Anyways, yeah, my prom didn't look like their prom, and I don't even know why am I talking about prom?
Because there's a prom in the movie.
Well, yeah, but to what end?
You didn't
Oh,
go.
like realistic expectations and stuff.
I mean, I don't know. Where expectations wise, just I feel like it did a better job at portraying high school than like some other movies did, where like it kind of sanitized it. Like this one, I think, like you said earlier, was like a little like raunchy, like because high school is very like, or at least mine was pretty raunchy. Like you know, like
Mine wasn't this horny, but
no,
okay.
not horny, but just like it kind of prepped you of like, bro, people smoke, people drink, people cuss there. Like it's not like
Dang. I don't know. I never saw any of that. Literally, when I was in high school,
what?
And the drug dogs would come, like people would be like, "Lily, can I borrow your locker?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, dude." They'd put stuff in it.
Mine was the locker. Yeah.
And then I'd be like, "Oh, cute dogs," and everybody's like freaking out. And then years later, I realized, oh, it's because
So it was happening at your school. You just were oblivious.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
I just
okay.
like wasn't running in those circles, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like but I never went to like a party. My first party that I went to was sophomore year of college, and it was like a
Whoa.
birthday party, like a proper birthday party.
What do you mean by proper? Like Chuck E. Cheese?
Like no, like just an apartment with like 10 people.
Or like a kickback.
And they're like drinking, and there's like a theme, but like nobody's like getting super crunked. It's not pitch black or anything. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Was there games?
Probably. I don't remember.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's chill.
So to me, this movie is like high school multiplied.
It's Project X for you.
Yeah,
What
it is
the hell?
Project X. What the hell, flashing your teacher to get someone out of detention?
Damn. All right. I thought it was fun. Yeah, that's not realistic, bro. That's so many codes broken. And the teacher confiscating the weed and everything. Like,
Yeah, that was funny.
yeah, but no, I feel like I always had big brain enough to distinct real world and fake world. Where if I watch this, I'm like, wow, that's like real life.
Wow. Okay, but subliminally,
I
these
think
messages
the body
about-
image thing with like specifically.
Thank you.
like,
We're getting to the root
that's
of
what
it
I mean.
now.
The high school thing, no.
Okay.
But I think more so, yeah, like the not expectations of a relationship, but just like, yeah, if I'm the cool, mysterious guy, I can bag the hottie, like who's also mysterious.
Did it work?
You know what I mean? Back then, no, because I was too, like not chill, but like I'm too goofy to like. I was like, I like making people laugh.
You
so, like,
prioritize being class clown over like hot mysterious.
yeah, but
can
like
see
not
that.
class clown annoying. Like, please don't think that. If you do think that of me, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll tone it down. I try not to do that. Like, I like to think there's like class clown.
Oh, but the rush you get when you
I
make
like that
everybody
one too.
laugh, it's like you want to hit it again, you know?
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Damn. You know,
What? I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I've been there before.
there's a quote, but right here, ready?
Okay. He doesn't remember.
Peasants think rice is a luxury, but to kings, it's nothing.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
So for you, you're the peasant, and rice is laughter from other people.
Uh-huh.
And for you, it's a luxury, but for people that are funny, it's nothing, bro. It's nothing. I just made up that quote. That's pretty good.
I was like, it makes no sense. Now it makes sense because you came up with it.
No, that's pretty good, right? There's like some meaning in that. I can tone it. I can tune it.
It's 10 p.m., so you don't even have like the excuse of being delirious.
That's fine.
But wow, that's crazy. You called me unfunny.
No, I didn't call you unfunny. I'm just saying, like.
No, it's okay.
Anyway.
No, it's okay.
This is 10 things I hate about you.
Okay,
Again,
list off 10 things you hate about me.
10 things I hate about you?
Yeah.
No, we're not getting into that. Just because there's not 10 things I hate about you.
Nice.
But no, this is a classic. Where did I get this?
You probably found that one of the thirst.
No, you know what? Shout out Elizabeth. I think I got this from her. She gave it to me.
Hey, bestie.
To be fair though, I do have this on digital, so this is a like physical representation of that. So shout out there. It is DVD though. Next time give me Blu-ray. I appreciate that. I am totally kidding. This is really great.
He's not kidding.
And yeah, I think it's really cool. Also, we'll do a little zoom in here, but like this totally doesn't look like Heath Ledger, right?
No.
Yeah, like am I tripping? Like that, like there's a difference between the front and the back.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Something's off.
They put his eyes closer together.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a picture
Anyways.
and superimpose it.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I
it's-
wish the packaging was cooler.
Again, Blu-ray next time.
But
No, worth
yeah.
keeping in the collection for sure. One of the few, if not only, like rom-coms in my collection, which I can do better.
yeah,
I know
you
that
could.
I can do better. But it's a great start, I feel like. Compared to rom-coms these days, this is head and shoulder. What's the last one we watched? I think we watched that quarterback one where they're like, heads up, nice catch, cheer.
Wait, the one with Noah Beck?
Yeah, not
Has
my
it been
name,
that
quarterback.
long? Oh my god.
I think that's the most like newest one we've seen.
Can
Like,
we please stop putting TikTok people who do like acting reenactments
God,
on
they can't
TikTok?
act. They can't act. He can't act. I tried, bro. But like, he acts like me, bro. Like I'm a bad actor. But like, shit, man. Like, do a little better, bro. He had access.
Like when you have all the money in the world to like get proper training.
But if
and you
everyone tells
don't,
you that
like-
you're good as is, then why try?
And this is why being the brutally honest friend is the right thing to do.
That's why I was on Tubi.
Yeah. But hey, shout out Tubi, better than all these other.
Tubi, underrated streaming service.
Tubi or not Tubi?
Shakespeare.
Laugh.
That was good. I'm gonna do what you do, and I'm gonna be like, that's funny. But I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna laugh.
I do that, but just because I don't want to exert the physical energy it takes to
So
laugh.
that's a level of laziness I have never even like
I already did the work to bag you. Why do I then have to like physically laugh at everything you say?
But we're
It's
watching the
funny.
movie, and then like
Yeah, well, I don't want to disrupt. I feel like
I'm the one laughing
I'm
out
in
loud,
theater
too.
mode, you know, and I don't want to be rude.
No.
And the worst thing is if you laugh at something other people aren't laughing at.
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck, bro? Everything's subjective. That's why I don't care when I laugh at movies at the theater.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to do that in the comfort of my own
you
individual
don't.
time when I watch movies by myself. You don't know what I do by myself.
Oh, by yourself? Why?
Yeah.
But that's such a like weird thing to get defensive about. Like,
What do
I'm
you
not gonna
mean?
let other people see me laugh.
No, it's not. I don't know.
But, like,
I
I'm
feel
here
like
with
it's
you.
an earned thing, you know. Like,
But I'm here with you watching the same movie. So you're saying you would have laughed more like if I wasn't here?
no, this one was more like kicking my feet and like,
Okay, yeah, a little flutter.
and like
kicks.
even my like cheeks
Right.
hurt a little from
But
smiling.
what's like
so
a funny
much.
movie that like you're like we'll laugh out loud?
21 Jump Street.
Okay, 21 Jump Street. So if I was watching 21 Jump Street with you, you wouldn't laugh as much if you were watching it by yourself.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting. It's like, doesn't it like show some respect to like the
To you?
creators of the shit, bro?
They don't even. That's like what? That's like clapping in a movie theater where the freaking people who made it aren't there.
It's a respect thing.
What's a respect thing?
Just like, dude, I appreciate all the work you put into it, and I got to enjoy that for the last couple
but
hours.
you don't think we should clap when the plane lands?
Now we should. Now we should.
Okay, yeah, but like the captain's actually there, so you clapping is like a way of saying thank you, and then you shit on people for doing that.
First of all, I can't
Not that I
understand.
do
I
that,
can't
but
understand the
just
captain's
saying.
like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain's speaking. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, bro. Like So why should I thank you? Why should I thank you?
What?
I'm just kidding. I appreciate all pilots, all captains, all stewards and stewardesses. And
Who's your favorite airline? I feel like this is deviated so much from
JetBlue.
the original top.
I think. I don't know. Okay, well, let's go down. American Airlines is okay. Like
Delta, Alaska,
sucks. Alaska's pretty chill. United's chill.
Frontier.
I don't know Frontier. Spirit. No Spirit. Southwest. I have a love-hate with Southwest.
I'm a sucker for Alaska Airlines just because they're like one of the first I flew, and they've always been like quality. And
well, my first was Southwest, but like again, like I don't know. I like the free-for-allness of it until I get a bad seat, and then then I hate it.
I don't think I've ever had a seat above row 12. Actually, lies. I flew first class one time.
On Southwest?
No. I don't know what airline.
It's like you can't on Southwest.
Shut up.
That's pretty chill.
Also, someone has to be in the front row. Is that not first class in Southwest?
I guess that's priority boarding, but they don't have first class on Southwest.
Well, it is an elitist system to begin with. And
they
should fill up from the back to the front.
Dude.
And they should do the Nicaraguan
Yes.
way.
Okay, first point. I went to the Burbank Airport for the first time, and they let you load in the front or the back. They let you choose.
Oh.
So that was great. That was fantastic. I snuck in through the back and got like pretty close to the front. I was like, how did nobody do this? Second thing, yes, we should do. I went to Nicaragua to visit Lily one time a few years ago, and on the plane,
I was visiting as well.
But we were traveling separate.
Yeah.
But once we landed, unlike in America, when it's just a fucking free-for-all, once the little ding goes off and everyone's like, oh my God, like I gotta get up. Here, it was super, they said, everyone stop. They were like, rows 1 through 10 on the left-hand side. You may get up, grab your bags, and leave. And once they all orderly left, they're like, okay, rows 1 through 10 on the right side. Now you can get up. And they did that for the whole plane. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I hate those jerks. First of all, I'm usually in like row 28, and I hate the jerks in row 30 or whatever who are like, as soon as the little ding goes off, they're like up and standing, and they'll even skip you over because they're like, I don't have any bags, so I want to go. And it's like, okay, I get why, but no, because you're still all the way in the back, so you don't get to leave rushing before me, and you sure as hell don't get to be mad at me because I'm taking my rightful place in front of you.
Yeah, speeding to the next red light, bro. Like, that's what it is.
It's crazy.
But to be fair, I never have to pee more than right when we land and I'm stuck at a window seat.
That and you right before we go into the movie theater?
Yeah, I've conditioned myself by accident. I have to go to the bathroom right before I go to the movies. Like in the movie theater, like before we go. It's been a tradition now.
And now me too. That's the thing.
I just like to get rid of my bladder before I watch the movie. Because, oh my God, we watched Planet of the Apes, the newest one. And, dude, I didn't do it beforehand. The second the movie started, I had to pee so fucking bad. And so the whole time I couldn't even enjoy the movie. I was just, every time I was like, okay, maybe the next scene I'll get up and go. Because like maybe it doesn't, like maybe it's not an important scene. But every scene kept happening. I was like, this scene's important. I'm glad I didn't miss it. And so I just kept going the whole movie.
That was a good movie.
And before I knew it, it was like the third act. I'm like, fuck, okay, I may as well just fucking finish like the movie. And so like I couldn't even get to enjoy it because I'm like rushing it. I'm like, okay, I know what's about to happen because of like, I know how they're setting it up. I know all the fucking beats they're going to fucking play. And lo and behold, they did, because hey, first of all, I did like the movie, but I was very rushed at that time. So I was just like, do what you're going to do. All right. But, and then I like sprinted out of the theater afterwards to go pee. And I was like,
yeah,
wow.
I remember that.
Yeah. But, great movie too. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Do you have any of those?
I have
like the original one.
Well, the original as in like the reboot trilogy.
Everything's a freaking reboot.
Well, technically it's a prequel, but yeah.
So like this whole like doing reboots of things, this has been ongoing since the dawn of time, because apparently you can be William Shakespeare, write a play, and then there's reboots of your play.
This is an adaptation.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
also they do reboots of plays because, you know, plays
Okay,
only
well, those are
exist
called-
within
those are
like a...
called revivals. First of all, don't come to me and my. I've seen 3 plays. Thank you, or musicals. So
What?
I've seen 3.
Like, okay, wait, there's plays, musicals,
Mm-hmm.
revivals.
Well, revivals are just like they're doing it again.
Like doing the physical play or doing like a movie
the
about a
like,
play?
They're reviving it. You know what I mean?
So what's a movie about a play called?
A movie about a play is an adaptation.
And a movie
like
based on a play is an adaptation.
Movie based on a play. Like, how do you mean? Like Wicked?
Like Hamlet the movie versus, you know, 10
That's
things.
an adaptation.
They're both adaptations?
Yeah. I would say a reboot is when you take the same story.
Like How to Train a Dragon?
Yeah.
And make it live action?
Or it's like
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it, okay?
I don't want to get into that.
I want to get into it.
This is so fucking off topic, bro. I think...
Okay, we gotta go.
Hot take. The How to Train Your Dragon live action remake is one of the most pointless, soul crushingly, blatantly obvious cash grabs I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. I would rather watch Snow White and Lilo and Stitch, the live action ones, before I see How to
Even
Train
though
Your
they're
Dragon.
doing brownface?
In which one?
Lilo and Stitch?
Someone's doing brownface? Oh, the girl?
Yes!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'd rather watch that than How to Train Your Dragon.
Guys, you dug yourself a hole here. There's no way that's the right answer.
I think at least they're doing something different than the original.
They're not, though. They're taking away all the things I love, like Peakley.
No, but then
Clicky.
like right.
Whatever his
but
name
guess what?
is.
Guess what? As even though I hate it, at least it's different, right? I know for a fact going into that How to Train Your Dragon,
Yeah.
it's a shot for shot
Okay, but
reboot.
I think
remake.
that dragon, I've always wanted to see what it would look like next to, like...
It's still
real.
animated. It's still
Yeah,
animated.
I'm sure it's still animated. So what? Animation has
animated,
come so far that
but
now it looks real.
It's animated in the movie.
Yeah.
The animated movie, the classic.
But the
bangers,
humans didn't
bangers,
look human
bangers.
in that movie,
Who
and they weren't human.
I think that's a diss towards animation in general, and I think that's
that's
very,
like being
very insulting.
that's like being like, would the TED show been just as good if it was drawn?
But it wasn't started as drawn. That's like if there was like a live action Family Guy or something like that. Like Ted started as a real life teddy bear in a real life
Okay, fine.
world,
If
right?
they did a live action Family Guy.
It would be weird, right?
Okay, yeah, because they were drawn weird though.
But it'd also be weird if they did live action Family Guy, but recreated the episodes that were already been made. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you don't know if they're doing something new or not.
From every single trailer I've seen, it's the same. I've seen them, and there's videos showing the side-by-side comparisons of the same shots, and the acting, it seems worse, which is crazy, even though Jared Butler does do great as the dad. Stoic in the movies. Both of them. He gets to play both.
Also, the daughter from The Last of Us is going to be in it, which is cool.
Bella
And
Ramsey?
people are... No.
Oh, yeah. See, now I get lumped in with all these fucking racists because I'm against the movie. I like that she got cast, but I just hate that the movie's getting made. Like, it's two different things.
Fine, whatever. We don't have to talk about this
We
anymore.
don't gotta talk about this. We're here to talk about 10 things I hate about you. All right, that's it right there.
You'd be good at those like old-timey movies and shows where they did like random product placements and they would like drag in a kitchen real quick and be like, here's how my wife cooks. She used baking powder from whatever and they do like a whole...
Mm,
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
And like the black and white, like I Love
I hate
Lucy
those
stuff.
commercials, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, product placement.
Yeah,
So, yeah, any potential brands out there, I can totally...
we're not
Weave
there
your
yet.
shit
Look
in.
at the mic I'm using.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying if they're out there, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess if you got like a couple bucks, like, you know, we'll take
I'll shout you
tips.
out, bro.
Hey, if we actually use them,
What?
whatever, you know,
What?
anything like subscriptions or stuff.
Oh, people send it to us?
No,
What are you
like
talking about?
like I would only do ads for things that I actually use.
Right. I use money, so I'll take whatever. No, I'm playing.
You would, wouldn't you?
No, I would hold the line. I feel like I wouldn't let the money get to me, bro. I wouldn't let it get to me if
Yeah,
this
but
ever.
like let's find out for sure. You know, like let's get you some money,
Okay.
And then
I like
we
this
can
experiment. Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Everyone
like make us rich and then
make me rich.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they'll see.
Not even me.
Yeah.
I'll just enjoy like third party.
Yeah. I mean, because you'll
Funnels.
get the money too through me, but like
Yeah.
different when I'm rich. Yeah. Anyway, great movie. Gets a stamp of approval in the collection. Why don't
it
you
would get a
why don't you rate it?
10 out of 10 things I hate about you.
10. I'm going to put it right here. 10 out of 10 things I hate about you.
Yeah.
I would also
What do you give it a 10?
I would give it a 10 things I hate about you. Yes.
It's a very rewatchable movie, and I like the characters, and the humor is a little outdated, but that's okay.
Which parts?
They said the R word.
Okay, yeah, they did. I can't defend that.
Yeah. And there was actually some like jokes that are like more, I guess. Well, they never stop being relevant, but they're I guess more like woke, you'd say. Like when the teacher was calling out the Jamaican cosplayers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Things like that, you know.
Yeah.
That like
That age well.
yeah, unfortunately, because it's a very thing that's still happening.
I feel like that part died out.
What the Jamaican?
Yeah,
kids?
like white dudes doing Rasta. Like I feel like that toned down
Have you seen the girl with the Viking braids
on TikTok. Yeah, okay, but she gets roasted to like ever
She's
loving
just
bits,
rage
bro.
baiting
Yeah, totally.
for sure.
Hey, let's do that
but
on
hey,
the
you
next
can
one.
be dumb like that. Like not you. I just mean like people. People have the ability to be that stupid. So I don't even want to give her like all the credit and say she is rage baiting, but
No, I think she really thinks she's doing good. Like,
people justify all kinds of things.
yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, wow. How do you want to end this?
And like we always do, which is
Awkwardly.
awkwardly, and I think we talked about more other stuff than this movie, but
You know,
solid.
the gist of it is.
You've probably seen this. Like I feel like.
I mean, again, I don't think you should be watching our videos if you have not seen the movie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be kind of silly.
One day we should do like a spoiler free.
Do
like,
people listen to movie podcasts and not have
I
seen?
I don't.
a
I try
movie?
not to. I feel like it's kind of weird, especially like first of all, I don't. Ironically, we're doing a podcast, but I don't believe in podcasts. Like, and then second of all, yeah, like I wouldn't want to listen to like, unless it's like very spoiler free. But like, I don't know. Like I would feel weird listening to something that like I haven't heard of, or if it's like.
And I thought
movie.
you don't believe in spoiler-free reviews because even spoiler-free reviews.
Oh, well,
are
that's because I'm a
spoilers.
bit of a nerd. Where I'm like, okay, well now if it's like when your friend tells you, "Oh my god, watch this show or this movie," like there's a crazy twist. I'm like, bro, now you spoiled it because now I'm gonna know there's a
Not
twist.
everything has a twist.
No, okay, well, like some things are like Fight Club, right? That has a crazy twist, right? At the time, people didn't know that was like a thing you can do.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know when I watched it. That one always gets me.
See?
Like the whole like they show up and they're in the same outfit that they're always in, and so that's how you know that they're
Yeah.
not real or whatever.
So it's like if I went into Fight Club, like we went into watching it, I'm like, oh my god, there's a crazy twist. And then like, so I feel like that puts you on edge more, at least for me as like a moviegoer. So I'm like, okay, I'm like picking out details more. And then that way, like I'll deduce it faster, which
yeah,
kind of
I mean,
ruins the
I
fun.
agree with you that I don't like watching anything about a movie before I watch the movie.
Yeah.
So,
I like to go in and form my own opinions too. Yeah.
but like, what makes you believe in our podcast? You know,
Our podcast
since you
is
just
different
shit
because
on
I'm
every
doing
podcast
it, you know
ever.
what I mean?
So
I think ours is more real.
more real.
Yeah, more real. It's what
How's
I'm
more
really
real?
thinking about the movie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I don't know about that.
Mm. All right, let's just end on an awkward silence and then we'll cut it.
Okay, I'm good with that.